to kick on. There we go.
Good to go?
You're good.
Thank you very much. And welcome to the July meeting of Finance. First, I'd like to welcome Walter and W to the board. And I think, Madam Chair, do we have to do anything to appoint W to Finance, or do I just sort of do that automatically?
I think we have to do that in the main meeting, right? Or can we do it now? I don't know.
The chair just needs to designate. So she's been designated to ask at this
Debbie to
this
the
meeting.
finance committee, and welcome Debbie and welcome Walter. We're very glad to have you.
Welcome, Fabio. And thank you for your agreement to serve on Finance. First off, by the way, I have to thank Al Connie for his many, many years of dedicated service to DASNY, which I know we'll be talking about later, but also specifically to Finance. Al always had an insightful view of matters. He looked at things through sort of a different lens sometimes, and he was always very, very helpful to Finance. So Al, thank you for your long service. And Fabio, you have big shoes to fill, but I know that you are more than capable of filling those shoes. On to Finance. Since we didn't meet in June, Janice, we have to adopt the meeting minutes from the May meeting of Finance. So since you and I were the only ones there, I'll ask for you to make a motion to approve those meeting minutes.
Okay, I'll make a
Thank you.
motion to approve the meeting minutes from May of 2026.
Thank you very much, Janice. No abstentions, no objections, so those meeting minutes are adopted. Finance has 3 matters on, and just for our new members, Walter, I mean, even though you're not on Finance, since we're all here, we encourage all the board members to participate as much as they want to during Finance, and we appreciate that, all your efforts on that. So first up, Portia, is the pit sales tax financing, small matter, 2.5 billion, and Matt will be presenting. Matt, thank you.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. The Finance Committee is being asked to recommend to the board the authorization for the issuance of multiple series of tax-exempt and/or taxable fixed and/or variable rate bonds issued at one or more times in an amount not to exceed $2.5 billion. The state would like the flexibility to issue the proposed bonds under either the personal income tax revenue bond program and/or the sales tax revenue bond program. This authorization is for new money and refunding purposes, and with regard to the new money portion, the proceeds of the bonds may be used for any authorized purpose. However, the programs or projects expected to be financed by the bonds are for the following: the City University of New York, or CUNY, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, or the MTA, the State University of New York, or SUNY, as well as SUNY Community Colleges and SUNY 2020 Challenge Grants. This financing will be issued with a term of 30 years, provided, however, that the maximum term for the portion of the financing related to MTA capital projects may have a term of up to 50 years. In addition to the new money portion, this authorization also looks to cover the refunding of certain bonds issued under various state-supported debt programs. I want to touch on security. The security features for the personal income tax revenue bond program include 50% of the receipts from the New York State personal income tax, 50% of the receipts of the employer compensation expense program, and 50% of the receipts from the pass-through entity tax, which are all deposited into the revenue bond tax fund. For the sales tax revenue bond program, the security includes 50% from the 4% New York State sales tax, which is deposited into the sales tax revenue bond fund. And for the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2026, these numbers are still being finalized, but the debt service coverage on all outstanding state personal income tax revenue bonds is projected to be 9.8 times total debt service, and the debt service coverage on all outstanding state sales tax revenue bonds is projected to be 7.5 times total debt service. And finally, the expected ratings of either program are AA1, AA+, AA+, and AAA. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matt. Matt, maybe just for the benefit of our new member and actually our new members of the board, just because the 50-year for the MTA is a little different than what our customary 30-year offerings are.
It's typically, it is just to be 30 years, Jerry, but the useful life of some of the projects for the MTA they will allow tax council to look at the useful life. And again, that'll be up to 50 years, but that is atypical. It's typically 30 years for projects, but you're right. That is a different standard for MTA.
Thank you. I just wanted to explain that portion, and also the SUNY component of it. Just explain the differences between the two SUNY programs.
Right, so we have a separate SUNY bond program for the residence hall program, their dormitories, that's supported by the rents, fees, and charges associated with those dorm facilities. The SUNY facilities that are financed here under their sales tax are their academic facilities, educational facilities, and not their dorms.
Thank you, Portia. Any questions, Janice, up in Buffalo?
No questions.
Or anything on the pit or sales tax? I mean, these are important offerings that we do on behalf of the state. What do you think this one will be, a pit or a sales tax, or we don't know yet?
Not sure yet.
Things will develop. Thank you. Walter, feel free to ask. Okay. Hearing no question, Janice or Sebia, can I please get a motion to recommend approval of this offering at the full board that will happen shortly after finance? Thank you very much. Thank you for the second. All in favor, aye, aye. None opposed, no abstentions. That motion carries. Thank you very much, Matt, but don't go far because you're going to present Northwell, the help obligated group financing. Thank you.
Thank you. So in this case, the Finance Committee has been asked to recommend to the board a 30-year bond term for an amount not to exceed $800 million on behalf of Northwell Healthcare, Inc. And the financing that you're considering this morning will finance various construction, renovation, and modernization projects for certain members of the Northwell Health Obligated Group, as outlined in the report. As this is an obligated group structure, obligations issued under the master trust indenture will be a joint and several obligation of each member of the obligated group and will be secured by a lien on certain gross receipts of the members of the obligated group. The members of the Northwell Health Obligated Group are Long Island Jewish Medical Center, North Shore University Hospital, Glen Cove Hospital, Plainview Hospital, the Northwell Health Stern Family Center for Rehabilitation, South Shore University Hospital, Huntington Hospital Association, Staten Island Hospital, Lenox Hill Hospital, Mather Hospital, Northern Westchester Hospital, Peconic Bay Medical Center, Phelps Hospital, and Northwell Healthcare, Inc. Northwell Healthcare, Inc. is both a member of and a representative for the obligated group. Wanted to look at the obligated group's financials, and over the last 5 years, the members collectively have consistently recorded either close to or above 100 days cash on hand, and the cushion ratio has averaged 12.3 to 1 during this time period. For 2025, these ratios, as well as the current ratio, operating margin, excess margin, and debt service coverage ratio, were either above or between the recent statewide DASNY medians. And just some other points regarding the obligated group financials. The operating gain of the obligated group has averaged $246 million over the last 5 years. And with regard to their balance sheet, over $23 billion in total assets were recorded in 2025, with unrestricted net assets coming in at $7.3 billion. As noted in the report, as of December 31st, 2025, the members of the obligated group represented approximately 89% of the total operating revenue and approximately 94% of the total assets of the system. And also, with regard to ratings, the expected ratings are A3, A-, and A-. And also, I did want to acknowledge the efforts of the Department of Health. Ken Evans and his staff were instrumental in getting this financing to where we are today. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. And I'll just note that there is a memo from the Department of Health recommending and requesting that this matter be approved at this meeting, which is always very, very helpful when the Department of Health chimes in on the healthcare issue. So thank you to the Department of Health. Any questions or concerns, Janice or Sebby, to start, and then other board members? Northwell is a long-term client of the authority. They obviously do great work and an important part of New York State. So it's a pleasure to present this, and I'll ask for a motion. Well, I'm going to make a motion to recommend approval of this offering at the full board meeting. Janice or Thebia, thank you. Thank you, Janice. Thebia, thank you for the second. All in favor, aye. Aye, none opposed, no abstention. That motion carries. Last up on the agenda is a TELP financing, and maybe Portia, just for the benefit of our new members, because TELP is not sort of, maybe do a 5-second, just explaining TELP or.
Okay, yeah, so, TELP is tax exempt leasing program. We can offer this, which in essence, it's like a private placement. We can offer this to the borrowers for whom we can issue bonds. Basically, again, it's a private placement where the lender is actually doing the credit work and determining the rate that's going to be charged on the lease, as well as the term. Although obviously the term is also determined by the useful life and work by tax counsel. But at the end of the day, they are making those determinations, and they are actually sort of purchasing the financing in-house. So, at the end of the day, if something were to go south in a financing, basically then the lender / purchaser would take the equipment itself.
And we've never had any.
And we have never had that happen. Never, ever had that happen.
I just thought it'd be helpful to at least explain how legally. Thank you, Portia.
Yeah.
So,
But
sorry,
the
Juan,
benefit of
but sort
coming
of
to us is a tax exemption.
Well, I'm sorry for not going right to you, Juan, but if you could take us through this specific TELP, it'd be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Today, the Finance Committee is requested to recommend to the board approve TELP transaction for NYSARC Incorporated, also known as the ARC New York, in an amount not to exceed $27 million. The proposed financing will primarily support the acquisition of motor vehicles for its local chapters, as well as a broad range of capital equipment, including furniture and appliances, information technology equipment, office equipment, and other operation equipment. Finally, the cost of issuance associated with this transaction will be paid by the institution from its own funds. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions or concerns, Janice, maybe to start?
So we don't know the lender yet, though,
No.
and that's how this is structured.
Juan, I think we do know the lender, correct?
For this transaction, it's KeyBank.
Ski Bank?
Okay.
Anything else?
I should mention it's the clients usually do an RFP for these, so it's like a competitive way of choosing the lender.
That's a good point. Thank you. Can I get a motion to recommend approval? Thank you, Janice. I see you up there in Buffalo. Thank you. Olivia, thank you for the second. All in favor, aye. None opposed, no abstentions. That motion carries. And unless anyone has any questions or concerns for finance, which we'd be happy to answer, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion
Finance.
to adjourn.
Thank you very much. Second, Debbie, thank you. All in favor, aye. None opposed, no abstentions. That motion carries. So I will turn it over back to you, Madam Chair, and thank you all.
Okay, very, very efficient. Thank you.